Welcome to the Bluebird Paradox, a gritty MicroZine written by me, Sadhill, that explores the coexistence of light and darkness, focusing on social issues and the human experiences we often overlook, presented through various short stories, poetry, and other creative arts. The Bluebird pays homage to Charles Bukowski's poem Bluebird, which delves into themes of vulnerability, repression, and the struggle to express oneself authentically. Often, the bluebird symbolizes hope, love, positivity, and renewal. However, throughout my life, I've observed the presence of darkness where there is light, leading me to believe in a paradoxical relationship between the two. The Bluebird Paradox embraces the inherent contradictions and complexities of our existence, and seeks to reveal deeper truths about society, emotions, and the human experience. As always, thank you for being here. Please enjoy the read. Today we tackle the pressure of gratitude, especially during the upcoming holidays when suffering and despair can make thankfulness feel out of reach. Inspired by my poem Lifeline, this issue reflects on the challenges of letting loved ones help us during dark times, and the importance of trusting those who care. We'll also discuss the song Night by Daniel Spiliniak, share updates on recent writing competitions, highlight new LitMag submissions I'm excited about, and celebrate an exciting milestone at my local library. Plus, we'll feature the poem Memento Mori by Mariah, the winner of last month's writing challenge. There's a lot to cover, so let's get real, raw, and unfiltered. Everywhere we look this month, we're reminded to be thankful, whether it's a branded coffee cup, ads burning holes into our retinas, the many billboards looming at the gas pumps, or Aunt Janis tapping her third wine glass at the dinner table, demanding everyone share what they're thankful for. The message is everywhere, and so is the pressure. Hell, even I'm talking about it. Geez. But for those deeply suffering, drowning in despair for whatever reason, being thankful, or finding something to be thankful for, is easier said than done. Ironically, the changing seasons often intensify these issues. When you're in it, the pain is raw, immediate, and overwhelming. It's hard to gain perspective to see how lucky you really are, to notice the people closest to you, or sometimes right in front of you, who've been throwing you life preservers all along. During the darkest times, vision narrows. To those on the outside looking in, it can look like someone feral and out of control, drowning or clawing desperately at anything they can reach, sometimes even hurting loved ones in the process. Maybe that's why these traditions passed down by those wiser and older than us encourage reflection. They nudge us to consider why or how we're still alive, to appreciate the people who've contributed to our successes, or at least helped us fail less, or even to recognize the sheer improbability of being here at all. Hundreds of decisions, events, or chances could have led to the opposite outcome, where you are not here. Is taking a moment to reflect really such a bad thing? Should those of us who are suffering make the extra effort to notice how loved we are, even if we don't feel it or see it? Thanksgiving in particular forces this expectation to be thankful. We're often put on the spot to express gratitude, as though we should have prepared a speech or something. It can feel awkward and intense, especially when confronting our feelings in front of others, especially when we're blind to those feelings. If you're like me, even in darkness, you're still aware of what's in the light. Sometimes it's the reflection of seeing how your suffering hurts others that spirals you further. But that awareness is important, and it's the start of something better. If you can still see the people who love you, it's not too late. Stop fighting. Let them in. Trust that even if they fail, it's out of love and compassion. You won't be any worse off anyway, right? And if they succeed, well, everything improves. So, there's no downside. Take the time to notice them, appreciate them, and thank them, not with your words, but with your trust. And for those who are trying, tired of throwing a limp rope, keep trying. We see you. Know that many of us are fully aware of your pain. We look through a dark window at your suffering daily, and just know at times it feels impossible to stop, even when we are aware. Never forget that our intentions are love. We don't want this either. Take time to be thankful for each other. This month's theme is inspired by a poem I wrote in 2023 titled Lifeline. I wrote it as a poetic apology to my wife, but more so as an acknowledgement of the pain I've caused her over the years when I spiral into that dark place, hating myself. I also wrote it as a reminder for me to let her help me when I'm suffering, to entrust that she's strong and capable enough to handle it and to pull me out. If you've ever spiraled so far inward that climbing back out feels impossible, this poem is for you. When you're living in that shadow, you're painfully aware of how much it hurts those you love, and seeing it happen in real time damages you even more. I hope reading this encourages you to grab hold of that rope, as I have, and let others help you, for once. Lifeline by Sadhill. Today she wept for me, because she couldn't comprehend how incapable I am of seeing the genius she sees in her besotted stare. Her face an estuary, where pity flowed into disdain as she was forced to remain a spectator of my demise, watching me, loving myself through degradation and sabotage, and avoiding the mirror like it was the plague. I wallowed in it, transfixed by the destructive vortex, hell-bent on pulling me under, while she threw me a lifeline, a line that would have undoubtedly saved me. But instead she stood there, makeup smeared, grasping that limp rope, tethered to my darkness, lonely, scathed, and powerless, because the whole time I'd been hurling the preserver back at her, choosing to surrender to the drowning over her loving embrace. And I know it, and it hurts me too. And I'm sorry. I regret it every time. Today my wife mourned me, because she didn't understand the darkness I live with, or how sometimes it swallows me whole. And when it does, neither of us know if it'll spit me back out, or take me under for good. Today she wept for me, but mostly for herself, left alone once again to attend my funeral for the 300th time, just as heartbroken, just as devastated as the first. When will I learn to divert the raging waters devouring our foundation before the ground crumbles away and takes us both? When will I learn to grab the rope? Sadhill's Music Minute. Night, by Daniel Speliniak, encapsulates the struggle of living in and out of darkness. The song begins with an invitation to observe the quietness of the night, hinting that the blackness is perhaps bleaker and lonelier than it seems, often pulling us in beyond our control. He then suggests that the external forces have both contributed to his despair, switching him off, and later offering salvation when someone grabs his arm, guiding him out of the void. Daniel's gritty, melancholic voice pairs with a haunting tone and melody that convey the pain of both the sufferer and those reaching out with a lifeline. The result is raw and undeniably beautiful. While the lyrics and atmosphere are heavy with depression and misery, the song ultimately delivers a positive message. If we allow ourselves to listen, trust, and follow those who wish to help, we may feel the rain again, and in doing so trade our bad dreams for good ones. Night was featured in Season 2, Episode 2 of the television series 6, and also Season 3, Episode 10 of Hulu's drama series, The Path, in 2018, and is available for listening on this month's issue of the Bluebird Paradox. You can also find more from Daniel Speliniak on social media by searching @Daniel_Speliniak or visiting www.danielspeliniak.com. Sadhill News. Writing Battle. The results for the 2024 Autumn Short Story Battle aren't out yet. My story, The Roach and the Butterfly, has officially completed its duels in the peer judging phase, along with approximately 1,460 others. At this point, my fate is likely sealed, unless by some miracle it has made it into the finals. If that's the case, it's now in the hands of the professional judges. Regardless, reveal day is December 1st, so the wait continues to find out how my story is placed. Twisted Tournament. By the time this issue drops, I'll have already submitted my entries and started judging my fellow writers' 500, 250, and 100-word stories. This is the second Twisted Tournament contest I've entered, and if it's like the first, it's going to be wild. Stay tuned for the results in the next update. Tyrone Snyder Public Library. I'm honored to have been recently added to the local author list at my library. How amazing is that? I was surprised with the updated list earlier this month, and it nearly brought me to tears. This recognition means the world to me. It keeps me focused on my goals, knowing I have such an incredible support system, not just at home, but now at work too. I'm beyond grateful for my team at the Tyrone Library. They're truly something special, and I can't wait to debut my first book there whenever I finally finish it. Publications. I loved my autumn writing battle story, The Roach and the Butterfly, so much that I've submitted it to Apex Magazine, which is still open for submissions at the time I write this. I'm hopeful they'll find it compelling enough to publish. As always, time will tell, but just in case, I've scouted a few other potential lit mags I can submit to if they decline. Their response should take around 45 days. I've also submitted several of my nature poems, Plucked, Breathing in the Sun, Daffodil, Natural State, and Pigeon Wine, to Appalachian Review, which I feel is a perfect home for these poems. Their turnaround time is typically 10 months. It'll be a while, but I think it's worth the wait. October's challenge winner. Thank you everyone for submitting to last month's challenge. I'm always impressed by the amount of talented pieces you all send me. To recap, the prompts were Season of Decay, Amber Helix, or Repugnance. And congratulations to Mariah for the win. The winning poem is contemplative and melancholic, but not despairing. It presents the natural world as a place where life and death coexist in harmony, and is a gorgeous metaphor for the inevitability of death and the traces we leave behind. Memento Mori by Mariah. Rich autumnal odor of mottled ferns and loamy earth. Dappled sunlight falls upon a sepulchre of soft moss on maple roots, ephemera of bent trees printed like epitaphs on brittle leaves. Mariah prefers a life of solitude, much like Dickinson. In fact, I've often compared her style, depth, and use of gorgeous language to be equal to, or even surpass, Emily's. Mariah showcases a small portion of her work on theprose.com. I'm honored she was willing to share this piece with us. And as always, I look forward to our next one. And finally, I leave you with this month's Sadhill Writing Challenge. Each month I provide a writing prompt, encouraging fellow writers to stay sharp, compete in friendly competition, and challenge them to push past their creative boundaries. The winning piece will be featured in next month's issue, as well as any links the winner wants to share to promote their brand. This month's prompt is an open call for any submissions. The rules: any style of prose or poetry is accepted. It must be 500 words or less. Only one entry per writer per monthly contest. Reprints and simultaneous submissions are encouraged. This month's deadline is 11:59 p.m., or by the end of Monday, December 23rd, 2024, to allow time for edits. You must be subscribed to the Bluebird Paradox to enter this challenge. Your entry does not have to include the prompt word or phrase, but must have the essence of the meaning captured. Metaphor and obscurity are encouraged, and finding something beautiful in the darkness is even better. All entries must be sent to chrissadhill@gmail.com. Please use the subject line Sadhill Writing Challenge and include the month. You may paste the story directly into the body of the email or attach a file. And please include any promotional links you would like to advertise. By entering, you agree for your work to be published in my MicroZine for no less than 1 month, and if chosen as a winner, it will be included as content on my Substack. And remember, you retain all rights to your work, and upon request I'll gladly remove it for any reason following the featured month of publication. In the event of removal, the story title and name will remain listed along with any links to your new piece's home if you would like. Good luck, see you next month, and please leave a comment. I love hearing from you. If you haven't signed up for my Substack, please visit www.chrissadhill.substack.com to access all of my content.